everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place.StampingUp.net, and today I'm going to show you how to make this fun card right here. Before we get started, if you want to purchase any of the products you see in today's video, you can go to Bonnie's Creative Place.StampingUp.net and you can purchase the stuff there. Also, if you'd like to see more of my future videos, if you'd hit the little pink square over in the right hand side corner there, and that will let you be notified. If you hit it, it's a subscribe button, and it'll let you notify of when all my up and coming videos are. So first, let's get started. So for this card, we're going to be using the stamp set called A Touch of Ink. This is currently, right now, a second level item that you can get for free during celebration. All you have to do is purchase $100 or more in Stampin' Up! Product, and you can get this step for free. There's other items in the catalog too, but this is the stamp set that I'm going to be focusing on today. Okay, so for this stamp set, or for this card, stamp set, I should say card, let's see. I've got a base that is that's 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So we have a base, and then I have a couple pieces. This piece here, oh, where'd my directions go? I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right measurements. This piece here is 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then you also need a piece of designer series paper the same size. Now this was the same size as this, but I used it for this one, so you can get 2 out of 1 piece of designer series paper. So you need a designer series paper and a cardstock, and this is Rich Razzleberry. And this is going to be, again, it's 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. So we got them. And then you need some scraps. So you need a scrap of Rich Razzleberry and a scrap of Whisper White for our stamping. So let's get started here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, let me make sure I have this on the right side. That's the 4 1/4, and that's the 3 3/4. So you want the 3 3/4 side, the long side, and you just kind of want to line it up to where you want it to end up. I like it right about there. I think that's a good spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and this is just for gluing purposes while you're going to flip it over. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw a line right along here. So now when I put the glue down, I know I want it only on this side of the line, because I will be using liquid glue. You can use other glue if you choose, but I want to use the liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room. And when you're working with this, you want a little bit of a wiggle room, just to make sure you're getting it where you want. So here you go. So we'll put this over here, and then we're going to pick this card up. You can use this, you can do it just like this and line it back up, which is actually probably the easiest way to do it, and then that way you know you got it right back in the spot that you want it. So that's probably very smart. I didn't do that the first time, so see, I just taught myself something. So just sit it right over, just like that. You drew that line, put it right back on that line. Quick. Oh, that was easy. I did it the hard way last time. So then you're going to take a pair of scissors, and you're going to trim this off. Now I like to trim this way first, and then same thing up here. Try not to get too close to your white that you want to cut it off like I'm trying to do. Then I like to open this so it's out of the way, and then I'm just going to trim. Now you can use your trimmer, which would probably be even easier, or you can use a long pair of scissors, which would probably be very nice. And so then we have this, okay? save this piece because we need it. We need it for over here. So now we're going to line this piece up just like this. We're going to flip it over. We're going to take our pencil and we're going to, oop, I think I moved it a little bit. I think it'll still be okay. And draw a line down. Okay. Take our glue, put some glue on it. It's a fairly easy card, but it looks like you did a ton of work. Now here, I've got to look at it because I want it, it's not exactly up and down. So I want it to line up right with this one. That's the only reason why I had to look at it on this side. Because you wouldn't have known exactly, unless you marked your paper too. But I didn't, so there we go. So that looks very nice. So now we are going to, oops, I want to open this up and then trim this off. Okay, so now we have this. So now you're gonna have, normally you'd have you'd have this other half on here from this piece. See, I'd have this half right here and I'd have that square. So then you would pick the corner just like we did this one, and you would just pick it and put it on here. So I'm going to put it on just like this. See? So what I'm going to do is I am going to flip this over. You could do the same thing here. You're going to, well, you can at least draw your line. I don't know about, then put your glue. Just like that. Then we're going to pick it up, and then we're going to judge how far we want this to go. Now I could see already I'm going to have to trim down here a little bit because up here I'm going to have a little edge. On this one I did not. So I'm not sure. Maybe we can't get 2 out of 1 card. I'm going to make it work. So before I push this down right here on the edge, I'm just going to come in a little ways and I am going to trim that little bit so that I get that border that's at the top, that's at the bottom also, if you could see. There we go. Now I'm going to press it all down. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to cut right on this line. So I guess when you do the second one, you have a little bit of work to do, unlike when you do the first one. Because on the first one, I did not have to do that. Now I've got a little bit of a lip there, and I don't really like that. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Cutting with your trimmer definitely would probably be easier. And I'm just going to put this right on here. Put it down, definitely. And then just score that. Well, I don't think I have it over. There we go. Now I scored it. There, I heard it cut off. And just get rid of that little bit of a lip because I didn't want that on there. So if that happens, and that's all probably because, I mean, that's how much I took off. It's probably all because of the cutting with the scissors. If you have straight, longer scissors, it's from cutting with these little ones where you can't get one good cut. Okay, so I got 2 cards and I only wasted that little piece of DSP. And I want to let you know, if you're wondering where I got this DSP, I should let you know that I got this from the Celebration Kit. And it's a free item right here. And you think, you know, oh, I don't want all that berry stuff. But I'll tell you, the back of these are some really cool designs that you may want to use on other stuff if you're not into the berries and the fruits and everything. So that's good to know, and you can get this. This is a level, that is another level 2, and I'll show you right here. This is another level 2. You can get the stamp set and the berries if you place a $100 order. So you can get both of them for $100 order from Stampin' Up. All right, so now let's do some stamping and get this card finished up here. Okay, so for the other stamp set that I used, I sat them over here, I used Ridiculously Awesome because down in this, I'm trying to tip it so the glare doesn't hit it so bad on you guys. I'm going to be using Let Your Faith Be Bigger Than Your Fears. And I'm going to put this stamp right on the bottom of that. I just thought that was really, really appropriate. And then you got the little butterfly. And I mean, I don't know. I liked it. So I got that on this block. And I'm going to stamp it up really good in the Memento black ink. And you want to make sure it's stamped up good, because it's got that solidness in there. Okay, and I'm going to put this right down here, kind of in the corner. And then I'm going to press it, and I'm going to hold it for, I'm not really pressing hard, but I'm going to hold it for a few minutes just so that the ink and those larger letters absorb into the paper, because you don't want, you know, and there we go. And that looks really good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our butterfly. So we're going to set this aside. So here's our little scrap piece of paper, and I've got the butterfly. And if you use colored inks on your clear stamps, they will stain. They will stain your stamps. There's just the bright, like the pinks and the purples and that, they have a very high pigment in them, so they do stain your stamps. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this right about here. Okay. Well, that didn't stamp very lovely, so I want it to stamp better, and I probably, if you could see my lovely mat here, I probably did use my mat. Okay. There we go. You should use a mat underneath. Sometimes you can get away with it, and I've gotten away with it more times than none that I don't always think about bringing out my mat. So, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our Rich Razzleberry. And as you could see, I stamped off. So I'm going to stamp on this solid, this Rich Razzleberry. I'm going to stamp off. And then, now that didn't stamp off very good. I don't want some dark spots and some light spots. So I'm going to, let me flip this over. I'm going to stamp off. And then this is like, I don't know what they call it, like a second generation stamping almost, because you're going to stamp this right over top of this. The coloring's going to be all done and everything for you. So I'm just lining this up, and yes, it does hang off the butterfly. That's the effect that it gives. It's really cool. It's almost like you did a ton of watercoloring, but yet you didn't. Oh, I had something on that. Oh, there was something on. You see, it went right through. I do not know what that was. Let me try to wash this, and we're going to get another piece and try yet again for the third time. That's the joy of stamping. That's why you do it on this, on a scrap paper first. But we'll use this. Okay, so we're going to stamp the butterfly again. Where that piece came from. Okay, so we'll stamp it right about here. Okay, and then we're going to stamp it in the Rich Razzleberry. Then we're going to stamp off, and then we're going to pick it up and we're going to stamp right over here. Thought there was something on it again. Okay. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. So now we're just going to set this stuff aside. Then I brought in the 2 1/4 inch circle punch, and I punched out my butterfly. Just like that. So we have that piece. Now I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to close up this rich raspberry before I put something in it. And I'm going to bring in the big guy here. Stamping and embossing machine. And we're going to have platform 1, platform 2, platform 3, and platform 3. And now we're going to take our rich raspberry, and I'm using the Scalp Circle layering. Well, actually it's called the layering circle dies is what they are. This is an old packaging, but it's the layering circle dies and the framelits, and you get some scalped and you get circles in there. And I'm going to put this right down here on this piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to put it underneath, and I'm going to run it through. Okay, so here we go. Put this thing back out of the way. Get our piece here. And then I'll put this over here. Okay, let's bring our card back in, the original, and then we'll bring this in. And I did decide to leave this all flat, so I didn't pop anything up. So we're going to put glue on the back of this one. Oops. Wow. Let's see if I can take a little bit of that off. Got a little bit too much here. Okay. There we go. We're going to put that right on top of this. Just like that. I just think this is so pretty. And then I'm going to put, and all these colors, like after they dry and absorb, they just are so pretty. And I'm going to put this on here. So it's just like that. Isn't that beautiful? But I wanted to top it off with just a little bit more. And I have these gems that I have colored in the past that you can color with your blends. And you just take your blend and you color over top of them and then let them dry for a minute or a second or two. And I have some of these ones that are kind of like between a light pink, but when you put them on here, they just kind of, they blend in with everything. So I just said, let's use them. Let's use them up. I don't know what I colored them for. It might have been a workshop or something, and I had a bunch of extra. So, of course, this one just does not want to go on my little tool. It wants to be fussy. Let me get my tweezers now. This one wants to give me a hard time. Okay. There we go. And that's all I did. I did go ahead and I took some Wink of Stella. And let me make sure this one is, that one's an old one. Okay, here's my new one. And I just did put some Wink of Stella on this. Now, no, when you do this, it changes the color a little bit of your, that you're putting over top of. See how it's making it like a little more, I don't even know, like a pinkish color. And that's why you see that one's a little bit more of a, I don't want to say pink, it's just brightens it up. I shouldn't say it changes the color. It just brightens it. Makes it more bright. Let me see if I got enough on there. I think this needs to be squeezed down, but every time I squeeze some down from this, the Wink of Stella and I have issues. So I try to, there we go. Now let me see if you guys can see it. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but yeah. So this is just a quick card that I thought I would share with you guys. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Bye-bye.